Is your avoidant going to change? This is the question we all ask ourselves when they finally leave, because we want them back. We want them to actually finally see our value and reciprocate efforts. But the answer I'm going to give you is probably not what you expect, and most avoidants don't heal. When an avoidant leaves you, they display something that we call delayed reaction. What that means is the initial stages post-breakup, those few weeks to few months after they've left, they usually deflect. They don't feel the grief, they don't feel the loss or the consequences of their actions. They still feel attached to you, they still feel that bond because the reality hasn't actually hit them yet. Maybe they filled that void with someone else, maybe they're deflecting and they're trying to distract themselves. But how they manage that stage is usually revealing as to whether they will actually heal or whether they won't. Now, an avoidant that won't heal will typically distract themselves long term. They will get into rebound relationships, distract themselves with new people, new activities, things that keep them preoccupied from feeling their emotions. A typical avoidant pattern, they will run from themselves, they won't face their emotions, they won't even give themselves a second to think about it. Whereas one that heals will take accountability, will start to recognize patterns, will start to realize that maybe there was a lot more going on within them, not the dynamic. They start to replay moments, they start to logically analyze what went wrong at specific times. Now, of course, you won't typically know this because there's still silence. But the one thing that will be evident is the way that they behave. If they're alone, they're not hanging out with other people, they're not filling that void with a rebound relationship, that means they're processing their feelings. At least they're giving themselves the best shot at doing so. Now, how long does this stage typically last? Usually a few months. For an avoidant to truly heal and start to actually take accountability for their actions, they need time. Time is on their side. Avoidants need to baseline their emotions. Their logic has to override how they feel. Their negative associations with what went wrong in the relationship, the things that they negatively associated with you. Once all of that fades away and they have that logistic clarity again, the relationship wasn't really the problem, it was more or less their avoidant tendencies triggered by vulnerability. Then they'll begin to realize and piece together that maybe the love you had was real. And that is usually when they have the best chance of healing. But one thing I want to mention is that even though they may heal, it doesn't necessarily mean they'll come back, not for commitment. Many avoidants do return, yes, it is very, very common. But whether or not they return for commitment is entirely dependent on how they've processed their emotions, and whether they're even open to vulnerability again. I have completely separate videos on that, so if you're interested, they're there. But the underlying truth within the situation is that most avoidants are DAs or FAs, dismissive avoidants or fearful avoidants, which means many of them do not heal. They continue to deflect, not take accountability, blame everything but themselves. Whereas an aware avoidant or someone that's transitioning into an aware avoidant is more likely to heal and return. But it is a lot less common, but it does happen. I really hope this was helpful in some way, or at least answered a question that you had. If you have any questions for me, or if you want to ask me literally anything, leave it in the comments. I will try to answer every single one of you. But one piece of advice I want to give you is don't rely on them coming back. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't wait for them. Make yourself your priority and focus on your life and your healing.